What's up, y'all, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be going through the 1977 Topps Star Wars cards that I submitted to PSA. I have already got them back. I got them back very quickly. I submitted them June 1st, and I'm recording this on June 30th, so almost exactly 1 month. So very quick turnaround. I think that's mostly because it is a vintage submission, and I think they have like a different pool of graders they must pull from. Or something along those lines. It goes through quicker, I can tell you that much, because I submitted these and some Pokemon at the same time, and the Pokemon is still in research and ID, and these are done. So that kind of shows the difference there in time. I made some guesses on the grades. You can check out the submission video for this, for the 1977 Topps, and kind of see what I guessed. I'll try to remember what I guessed. I think I have a good idea. I guessed a lot of 6s. And so we'll go through and see how I did. I have looked at these grades already, full disclosure, so I know what they are, but I will show them here. So first up, we've got the villainous Darth Vader. Came back an excellent to mint 6. I do believe this is what I guessed for this card. It's got pretty nice corners. There's a little bit of edge wear on all of them, but not a ton. And it's not terribly centered either, so I'm not surprised that that pulled a 6. And that's pretty much how this whole submission went, honestly. Alec Guinness as Ben Kenobi also came back a 6. I think I was kind of hoping for a 7 on this one. I can't remember what I guessed. I think the corners do look a little bit better on this one, and it is very well centered. I mean, I think the differences between a 6 and a 7 are pretty slim, and this one just barely missed hitting that 7, in my opinion. Next up, we have another 6, Han in the Millennium Falcon. Nice card. Kind of the same story, a little bit more corner wear in that corner, but it's not a bad looking card either. It's very hard for me to tell just in general surface condition on these, just because, you know, what does a perfect card look like? I don't even fully know. I've looked at a couple 10s, but it's hard to tell with just scans. Next up, we have the Labyrinth. This one, you know, I may have should have not submitted this one because of that corner. I think the card otherwise looks like a nice 7, but that corner definitely brought it down. And this card in a 6 probably was not worth grading, unless I was trying to complete a set in 6s, which I was not. Next up, we have our first hit, I would say. We hit the near mint 7 on this little droid R2-D2. This is probably the nicest card in the submission. You know, it's not probably the most expensive just because of the Luke, but it is definitely a nice grade. I'm starting to see, I think there's, I don't know if that's hair. That was hair. I mean, it's pretty clean. I think that this one, maybe if the centering was a little bit better, it may have come back an 8 even. This is probably the nicest card in the submission. Next up, we have our other 7, Luke and Han as Stormtroopers. Again, just really nice clean corners on this one. Just overall very clean card. Looks like there's a little surface divot right there. That probably is part of the reason it was held back to a 7, but it's a pretty nice card nonetheless. Next up, we have probably my favorite card of the submission. I've got 2 of these. The Harrison Ford as Han Solo. Really like the pose. So good artwork on the card. It's Han's rookie card, and a very nice copy of it, getting the mint, or excellent to mint 6. And like I said, I have 2 copies. I won't spend too much time on this one. One of these is probably going to stay in my personal collection. Next up, we have probably the disappointment of the submission. I guessed a 5 for this one, and it came back a 4. So that was a little bit of a bummer. I was hoping maybe it would even come back a 6. It did not hit those lofty expectations, and that's kind of where I would have probably made the most money. If I'm being honest, like I bought this collection hoping to have some gradable cards. I sent these off, and I would have probably needed the Luke to do a little better for me to really capitalize on that. But it still goes for like a $75 to $85 and a 4. It's definitely a pricier card, the most pricey card of the old top Star Wars. And, you know, it's nice to have in my collection. I will probably move this one. I have one in my binder that's in similar condition, maybe a little worse. So this one is going to be moving on from my collection. Next up, I guess we probably have the biggest disappointment. I think when I went through these, I kind of ordered them in some way, because we've got another 4 Princess Leia Organa. I assumed this was going to get a 6 like all the others. I'm not sure. I think after looking at it, I think right in here there's some serious smudging, and I think that is what, yeah, that's what kind of kept it down. And that makes sense. That's totally fine. So it's the surface that's really an issue. So in the future, if I'm grading these cards, I'm going to spend a little bit more time checking out that surface. I think that's going to be kind of a deciding factor on what I send off. And last and probably least, same deal. I see it now. This is the gum. You can see the gum wrapper. All right, so that's something I really need to do a better job of looking for on these cards, clearly, because that's what's keeping this down. I was a little confused at first. You know, it's a 4. I didn't really see why this was a 4 and the other ones were a 6. But now looking at it in the light, that actually is very clear. So good to know for the future in submitting these cards. Definitely look out for that gum imprint. I think that's just mostly my fingers on the card. And those cards probably won't make my next submission. But I enjoyed this quite a bit. I actually did, I think, pretty well in terms of like what I put into buying these cards versus what I'm getting out of this submission, how much I put into them. Like these 4s, I'm going to list for $20. You know, if you're watching this video and you head over to my eBay, hit me up with a $15 offer. You'll probably get them for these 2. Obviously not the Luke. Luke, like I said, probably a $75 to $85 card. The Hans I'll probably list for $40. I might keep one, like I said, for myself. I'm almost definitely going to keep one for myself because I like the card a lot. You know, and then I'm not going to go through the rest of them, but the rest of them are between 30 and 40 bucks each. So, you know, overall, I think we'll see how long it takes me to sell through them. But I did enjoy doing this submission, and I do enjoy these cards a lot. So I do think I'm going to continue to pick up more collections and grade the best of it, kind of build out my binder sets and stuff like that. I enjoyed this quite a bit. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at the submission, and I'll see you on the next one.